This is the Pure Fury Creations Entertainment Network.
And welcome to the Fatal Four-Way Show live on Orion ON TV. I'm Quadell Hollywood Q. I'm glad to be here. Hopefully you all have had a great Christmas, great holiday. If you are viewing this, and you will notice it's a little different. We got a little different setup here. Jason Klaus isn't with us right now. Sean Grugel is not with us. But who do we have with us right now? We do have the Stan Lee of the PFC Network.
How's it going,
Brian
everybody?
Bolf, how you doing, man?
It feels good to be back in my old seating spot, too.
Yeah.
See the cameras and everything.
Yep, the light's hitting you the right way.
Absolutely. It's a little warm with these Christmas sweaters we got on, though.
Yeah, if you can see, this is Ugly Sweater Day here at the Fatal Four-Way. It's just me and Brian here, but we do have our guys in our hearts. They're still with us, you know. Their spirits are looming over this show tonight.
They're Christmas spirits.
They're Christmas spirits. Yeah. So we're gonna have fun tonight. It's just the two of us. We're gonna have a good time. If you have anything you want to comment on, leave it in the chat. The phone line is down for today. So if you try to call, you're not gonna get through. I apologize. We apologize. But we are here and we're live in the chat. So if you have anything that you want to join in on the conversation, feel free to do so. You know, we have a lot to say. We have a lot going on. This is the end of the year. This is our last show of 2024. I'm excited. Brian?
I'm excited.
As we close out the year, man, how do you feel about it?
I mean, this is like sandwiched in between a bunch of the Christmas parties I have going on. I'm looking forward to this as much as those Christmas parties. It's the end of the year. Like, we built up all the way to this. We have the anticipation of what's going to happen next year.
Yeah.
I think, man, I'm really excited for next year.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we'll talk about it because we have our predictions coming up at the end of the show.
Absolutely. 2024
Definitely want to stick around for that part.
2024 was big. I believe 2025 is just going to carry on the momentum. WWE has been on fire. And as we know, that Netflix is going to be taking over the Monday Night Raw duties starting January 6th. They have a 10-year agreement, making a whole boatload of money. I mean, money that we all wish that we had. I mean, so Monday Night Raw, I believe, is going to be in good hands over there on Netflix. They're streaming now. So we have one more Raw of the calendar year. One more Raw. So this is the end of an era. Monday Night Raw, WWE Monday Night Raw has been airing on the USA Network since January 11th, 1993.
I was 14.
I'm telling you, I was younger than that.
And I was watching.
Yeah, and you know what? And I believe, I'm not going to say I've seen every Raw, but I think I'm, in the 90th percentile of
like I said, I had
Raws.
my dark years in the mid-2000s there, but man, the 90s and early 2000s, yeah, I didn't miss any.
Oh, yeah. So we're looking back on 30 years of Monday Night Raw. They did have that stint where they were on TNN, which is now Spike TV. They were there for a little while. I think it was like a 3-year stretch. Came back to the USA Network. I mean, the show's been an hour. The show has been 2 hours. The show has been 3 hours. Right now it's 2 hours, and it's going to be going back to 3 hours. But let's get into some of the greatest moments. Do you have any great moments that you can just come up with from 30 years of Monday Night Raw on the USA Network?
Obviously everything in the Attitude Era. I mean, I could pinpoint moments like just Stone Cold coming into the prominence of that gray area face.
Oh, yeah.
Where like that, I mean, everything that The Rock did at those times. I mean, all of that was great. Like, I'm trying to think of like specific like moments and stuff like that. Hold on while I fix my mic.
Wow. Wow, Stan Lee gets his mic together. there's a couple of moments that really,
I'm back.
He's back, just like that.
I mean, like, even like the beer truck coming out,
Oh,
spraying
yeah.
everybody down, the milk truck coming
Oh,
out,
yeah.
spraying everybody down, all those things.
Those are things that you just don't see, on a regular basis. Those are definitely special moments.
Even like the announcing, like having like McMahon and Jim Ross and then Jerry the King Lawler out
King
there.
Lawler,
Like,
yeah.
just those memories of, I mean, it flashes me back because we just saw Saturday Night Main Event and we got to hear Jesse the Body's voice and like be able to shut your eyes, like I said then, and take
Yeah.
you back. Like when I hear Jim Ross and like the King, it's like that takes me back to teenage years.
Yeah, it definitely takes me back to that Attitude era.
You're just thinking of the
know.
King yelling puppies over and over
All
again.
the time,
All
yeah.
the time.
You got people showing puppies. I mean, you got all kind of stuff going on during that. Was that 90? I'll say like 97 was the start of the Attitude era.
Who was it that Goldust kissed?
Oh man, Roddy Piper.
Oh,
No. He kissed
Was it Mark Henry?
Razor Ramon.
Oh, I was thinking of like when they were passed out on the table. I thought it was like Mark Henry or somebody.
Ahmed Johnson.
Ahmed Johnson. That's what it was.
Ahmed
wow, I
Johnson.
remember that. And me like,
Jeez, they're really stretching this thing
Yeah.
out, man. They're testing the limits, man. I mean, the Attitude era has done stuff that you will never see
yeah, and
anymore.
you'll never
You
see
can't
it
do
again.
that today. A lot
Even
of
with
that
when
stuff.
they switch over to Netflix, even if they gave them a mature rating, I don't think they would pull off that stuff.
No, we're talking about a whole different company now. They have investors, they're a publicly traded company now. They're not private, so they have to answer to all the shareholders, and you got a lot of young kids watching too, which
We were young
we
kids.
were
when we
young
watching,
kids watching that
but
stuff. I mean, but
I think it's funny if you compare what a PG-13 movie was in the 80s to what a PG-13 movie is now. You can see times have definitely changed.
Oh yeah, I think the whole rating is just nothing. I mean, to be honest, this is considered a PG product, but is WWE really PG? I mean, when The Rock shows up,
Yeah, I mean,
and the language is getting crazy, and The Rock
You
is
can-
making people bleed.
people definitely have their own opinions of what PG would be. People definitely have their own versions of how to raise a kid, what movies they should be able to see and what they can't. Yeah, I'm like, it's definitely kind of an opinion type thing.
Yeah.
I mean, as long as you're not throwing around slurs, if there's no nudity,
Right.
I mean, my kids would love it and lose their mind every time something happens. So
Yeah, but let me tell you, Attitude Era was an exciting time. Definitely for me. I definitely go back and I think about some of the moments that Bret Hart had. To me, Bret Hart was pretty much
yeah, I mean, like
in the
his feud was Stone Cold.
Genesis. Yeah, it was the
I mean,
genesis
go back
of
even
Attitude
before
Era.
that, like the whole Calgary or Montreal
Montreal Screwjob.
screw job, yeah.
Yep. The birth of the McMahon character.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then then the growth of the McMahon character from that to what he eventually became,
Yeah.
and then became in reality as well, supposedly.
Yeah. But if you think about that, the whole beating up your boss thing was such a big moment that they even tried to recreate it so many different times.
I mean, I tried to live it every day at work. You've seen me.
Yeah, I want to beat everybody up there.
You listening, D?
Yeah, but I'm telling you, they try to recreate it. You got the Authority storylines and all this stuff they try to do. But the magic was right there.
I mean, you just
McMahon
had
and Austin.
Triple H pushing Kevin Owens.
Yep.
At the end
trying to
of-
create controversy.
Yep.
Yep. But another moment that happened in the Attitude Era is like some of the debuts. You seen one of the greatest debuts that happened on Monday Night Raw. There was a countdown to the millennium.
Oh, Y2J.
Y2J, Chris Jericho, made his debut on Monday Night Raw.
Do you think he makes a return on Netflix? No?
No.
I'd rather not see it. I know people are polling for it. I'd rather not see it.
Nah.
Just shut that door.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of doors that need to be shut with Y2J. Yeah.
I mean, I am a fan. I will go see him at the Machine Shop here in Flint when he comes and performs as Fozzy. He puts on a good show that way.
That's where he needs to be.
That's where I think he's highlights. Even maybe the Cruise.
Yeah. But Jericho in the ring, I'm sorry. It's got to come
Time
to an
spent,
end.
yeah.
It's got to come to an end. You know, he's got that whole learning tree thing going on AEW that, you know, a couple people watch. But
Yeah. I do think that was probably one of the biggest debut of all time.
Oh yeah. Yeah, so what is your greatest moments? What are your greatest moments of Raw? You have any more that you got in the can?
I can tell you some worst moments all of a sudden.
Oh, yeah.
Man, I was like, oh man, I really liked all the Kane and Undertaker storylines that we
Yeah.
got. But then, man, there was some terrible storylines with the Undertaker as well. Like the Stephanie one where she's up on the cross thing.
When Stone Cold came and saved her.
Yeah, that was awful. But I mean, the Brothers of Destruction, that was great. The introduction of Mankind and all the cinematic stuff that we got down in the basement. I think
Yeah, the
kind of
dungeon.
they learned lessons from that,
Yep.
and we see that now in the storylines that we get
Yeah.
here. Like I think the Attitude Era was great for what it was, but it also was like stepping stones for them to be the product that they are now today.
Absolutely. And they have a great roster too. You know, there's a lot of talent, and I understand why they have to kind of like split the rosters up because they got so many people under contract.
All the stuff from DX and the whole NWO versus WWE, or I should say WCW versus WWE, but the whole NWO saga as well as it went. But remember DX riding the tank over to WCW? Like
Yeah.
that was great. And then almost at that time you're flipping back and forth between the
Monday Night
stations.
Raw
You're like, what
Wars.
is going on? What's going to happen? Are they going to show up? If they are, I'm watching that one.
Yeah.
It's like trying to choose what channel.
Yeah, that was
Recording
definitely me.
one, watching the other one, and then flip-flopping.
Yeah.
Like wrestling was good.
Think about the ratings they used to get back then.
Crazy.
Man, I think it was, if I'm not mistaken, I don't have the numbers in front of me, but they did the Rock and Sock Connection had a segment in the ring. It was This Is Your Life. The This Is Your Life
Oh,
segment.
the Rocks. Yeah, that was.
Yeah, and it drew
That
one
was
of
amazing.
the highest ratings for that time just for a segment. It wasn't a match, but just for that segment was one of the highest
If we were
rated.
to do a Mount Rushmore of funniest moments in wrestling, that would probably.
Oh, yeah,
that would make it. Do you remember the introduction of Sacco when Stone Cold visited him was going to visit McMahon in the hospital?
Yep,
Mankind
yep.
showed up, popped up with a sock.
And then also another great moment, man. And matter of fact, Austin was the doctor.
Yes.
He was dressed up as a doctor, and he started beating up on McMahon. And one of the most satisfying sounds was McMahon getting hit in the head with that bedpan, you know. So that was an awesome moment.
Controversial moments like Brian Pillman pulling the gun on Stone Cold when Stone Cold broke into his house.
Oh my God.
I'm like, you'll never see anything like that again.
Definitely won't see that no more. Wow, man. So moving forward, Monday Night Raw is going to be going to Netflix. So there's a lot of things that do you have any predictions for that first show?
Roman gets the Ulafala back.
All right, yep.
Maybe we see the beginnings of Cody's heel turn that I think is going to come in 2025.
Oh, really?
I definitely see that coming.
Okay.
I think Kevin Owens is the perfect guy to keep pushing him to the point where he just snaps and breaks and goes to a level that he just doesn't come back from. And then he kind of becomes the guy that thinks that he's a face, but everyone views him as a heel.
All right, we're going deep. We're going deep. Do you think we see The Rock on Netflix?
Yes.
At least on the first show. Do we
I mean,
see him on the
we're
set?
definitely going to see Cena's going to be there, right?
He's
Cena's
already
announced.
been announced.
I don't know if they'll double it where they have Cena and The Rock. So I'm going to say no. I don't think we see The Rock.
All right.
I'd love to,
I would like to too, yeah.
but I don't think it's going to happen.
If he shows up, it has to be something with the Roman and Solo.
Yeah.
You know, something with that match. All right. So now, as we get ready to close this year, Sports Illustrated has come up with an awards list that
I've
I'm
heard
gonna
of them.
read off.
I've heard Sports Illustrated.
Sports Illustrated, yep. For 2024. And I'm going to read them off, and we're going to talk about these for a
right.
little bit.
Shoot, because I've heard some of them, but I don't think I remember them all.
Because
So,
I
I'm
believe
interested in hearing
a
these.
couple of them we might have different answers for. You know, we're not going to always agree
Guaranteed.
with everything that, you know, Sports Illustrated has said. So we're going to try this. We're going to shoot this from the hip. You know, I don't got any notes on, you know, these picks. But let's start off with storyline of the year. They have the Bloodline saga continues.
I don't think you can really dispute that. It's hard to even come up to think of any other storylines that really happened, because the Bloodline kind of pulled in from everywhere.
Yeah.
Like everybody kind of got sucked into that storyline.
Oh, yeah.
It was just like we were talking earlier about the NWO versus WCW.
Mm-hmm.
That was involved everybody. The Bloodline storyline kind of is like you're getting Sammy back in there, and how Kevin Owens and Randy Orton and Drew McIntyre and even CM Punk is now part of it. Like everyone is involved in this Bloodline story. And the fact that, I mean, without it, that's how Cody finished his story, which is probably, like I said, one of the bigger stories of the year, but it bleeds into the Bloodline story. So,
absolutely.
I mean, I think that was an easy pick.
Yeah, see, I kind of see it as like a web. You know, you got so many connected parts, man. It's like
much like the Bloodline, there's so many people in that thing.
And it's crazy because a lot of the other feuds that you could say are feuds of the year, like you can easily say or storyline, you can easily say the CM Punk Drew McIntyre storyline, which we'll hear later.
Yeah.
But it actually branched off of what the Bloodline was doing, because 2023, when Drew McIntyre lost because of Solo, you know, and that began his, you know, downward spiral and his heel turn, and now he's, you know, targeted CM Punk. Now CM Punk teamed up with Roman, and now Seth Rollins want to come after. It's so many things that's connected to Roman, and I love that. You know, you got Kevin Owens going crazy because of Roman.
So even when Roman isn't there to draw in the crowd, we're still getting all these other storylines that really affect Roman still. It's smart.
Yeah,
smart
they did a great job with that. Great job with that storyline. So we did. So I guess we do agree. Bloodline saga continues.
That guy can keep his job. Whoever wrote this list so far.
Yeah.
We'll see.
so far, so good.
Also,
so far, so good.
Who got the job as the wrestling writer for Sports Illustrated? I want that job.
Very good question. Yeah, we're gonna have to look that up. We're gonna have to look that up. We gotta find this guy. I believe we should have been on that. You know?
I think so.
We should have had some kind of say so. Rivalry of the year: CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre.
100%. I mean, they did a great job with that. Drew's doing a great job with all of his in-ring work and, like I said, outside ring work. The whole story of the bracelet and everything.
Oh yeah.
And how long they kept that going. They kept it going back and forth without it seeming stale.
Yeah.
Where at some points, even in the Bloodline storylines, at points we were like, all right, man, come on, can we get going on this?
Right.
Like you're slowly dragging this out. I
Yeah.
didn't feel like that really with Drew and CM Punk. It felt like, I mean, and that started right with CM Punk's entrance. Like we didn't see it, but Drew throwing a fit afterwards, and they show the clips.
Yep.
And like they just follow that story along around. 100%, I agree.
Oh yeah. Yeah, me too. Drew McIntyre's been like on fire to me. He's been probably doing his best work that, you know, he's ever done. You know, 2024 was a big year. He won the world title at WrestleMania and then lost it immediately. I mean, the fact that
and they're by CM Punk's interference, so
by
therefore that's why the feud happened.
This was a year-long feud.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was a year-long feud. And you even go to the match that blew it off. Awesome Hell in a Cell match.
Yeah, I mean, that's got to be up there for match of the year as well.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, yeah. So the CM Punk, Drew McIntyre, and it's crazy because like Seth Rollins is somewhere weaved into that too. But it's been a lot going on between CM Punk.
You know,
and
if
Drew
it wasn't
McIntyre.
for his injuries and stuff like that, I think he probably would have way more involved in that.
Yeah, WrestleMania changed because a lot of
yeah.
WrestleMania was supposed to be CM Punk, Seth Rollins.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be. But
I think we ended up better off without it.
I think WrestleMania was pretty good. I think it.
Yeah. And it's still, like, you know, we can still see that.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yep. All right. So Moving on to something that happened recently. We got heel turn of the year. And it's still being developed, but it's Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods, the New Day.
I'm shocked that they put that one in there, seeing it's so new, but
It's a new day.
a new day.
Yes, it is.
100%. All right, you got me there. That was great. Yeah, that's the biggest one. Man, are they drawing heat? They're drawing Dominic Mysterio freaking heat right now with that. Like, for them to turn on Big E, that was like a gut-wrenching moment to see in the ring. Like, and it felt so real. Like,
Right.
Big E's just like, no, come on, guys.
His face.
Let's. Can we do? What can we do? And they're like, nah.
No, man.
It's that breakup that you had that you're like, please, what can I do? Like, stay with me. Like,
Right,
It
yeah.
felt like that. Everyone had a flashback to that. Like, oh.
Yeah, his face, Big E's face, sold that.
Yeah.
It sold that whole moment. And I even said, and we talked about it, I said this was probably the best heel turn that did not have physicality.
Oh, for sure.
That
Like, because I kept waiting. I'm like, are they going to do something? And the fact that
better
they
hit 'em.
didn't, I think made it so much better.
Yeah, and watching Big E just walk off,
Yep.
I was like, oh, man, that hurt. I
Man,
felt
Sports Illustrated, 3 for 3.
that. Yeah, go ahead, man. All right. See, to be honest, I can't really think of any other heel turns that come close.
No. I mean, Kevin Owens.
Kevin Owens is probably the closest.
Would we
but-
consider The Rock having a heel turn?
Yeah. The Rock would be on that list.
Yeah, that's like,
Yep.
but I feel like none of them had the emotional impact of
No.
New Day turning on Big E.
No. So, this is one that we can talk about here. Best on the mic, Drew McIntyre, getting his second award here.
I got to run through my head, but he's definitely up there. Like, I mean, I just said it, like, his in the ring and outside the ring. I mean, even him doing the Instagram picture or on Twitter of him and, who was it, Jack Perry?
Jack Perry.
Perry
Yep.
to egg on CM Punk even more.
Oh, yeah.
I don't see how you can give to anybody else. I'm like, I don't know how he even arranged that, but man, that's so good.
He's the master troller.
Yeah,
That's
100%.
what I'll say. He is the master troller. You see him on social media, man. He's talking all this trash, all this crap, man, and it's stuff that you can't say live.
No.
So I love the fact that he puts a lot of realism. And if you listen to some of the stuff that he says, it makes sense. A lot of the stuff that he says, he just cut the promo I think it was this past Monday on Sami Zayn about how you can just jump back to Roman and how CM Punk just jumps to Roman. Like everybody, after Roman just screwed all these people, you're jumping right back to Roman. Just like how we said earlier, how Roman is like connected to all of this.
Yeah. I mean, honorable mentions. I mean, LA Knight's always great on the mic, but I don't feel like he's got a lot of opportunity.
Yeah, he needs a little substance. You know, I mean, he has all the skills on the mic, but to me, without a good feud, like who are you cutting these promos on? You know
I think I think Damian Priest did a great job recently with Gunther, kind of talking about his confidence being waned. Like, that was great. I think he did good.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I think Drew 100% takes that.
Oh, yeah. Let me tell you who's never getting this. Ricochet. Ricochet.
Asuka.
Oh, my God. Oh, poor Asuka. Oh, man. Nobody's ready for Asuka. All right. Breakout Wrestler of the Year. Drum roll. Jacob Fatu.
No, I disagree. I mean, I guess it depends on, are we talking about their WWE debut? Because if we are and their debut to WWE, I think I'd go Braun Breaker over that.
I knew you was going to, I knew you were going to say
I mean, he's got a
Braun
belt
Breaker.
even.
Yeah.
I mean, the stuff he's did in the ring.
Yep.
I think he's a step above Jacob. Jacob is definitely in that picture. Like, because he's like, Braun's been in NXT, he doesn't count, then I'm like, yeah, Jacob. But Jacob wrestled in other organizations as well, so it's not like.
True, yeah. Yeah, I would actually agree with you and say Braun Breaker would
I think
be
Braun Breaker would be
my top, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. He's a 2-time Intercontinental Champion now.
Yeah.
And he's been holding his own, even with the loss to Sammy.
I mean, let's be honest. These are two guys that we know are holding heavyweight gold in their future.
Absolutely. This could be a future WrestleMania main event. Jacob and hey,
I don't want to jump ahead to our 2025 predictions, but we may hear more about these two.
Oh, absolutely. Oh yeah, and I love the fact that as far as Braun Breaker, the loss to Sami Zayn did not hurt him at all. Or not. I keep saying Sami Zayn. The loss to
Jey Uso
did not hurt him.
No, it bugged me when I saw it because I'm not the biggest Jey Uso fan, but like you said, it really didn't slow down his momentum. It's almost got brushed under the carpet real quick.
Oh yeah. He bounced back, and the fact that he's so young, he's explosive, and people are behind him. He's going to be a top face. You hear people. He's supposed to be a heel, but you hear people in the crowd doing the woof. They're barking along with him and everything, man. Oh yeah, he's going to be the man. He is going to be the man for a long time to come. But Jacob Fatu is getting the best breakout wrestler of the year by Sports Illustrated. All right. Now this is one I know that you will appreciate. Tag Team of the Year in a in an era where tag team wrestling has kind of fallen off a little bit.
God, it kills my soul.
But Fraxium.
I'm a big fan of them.
Nathan Frazier and Axiom.
I'm not a fan of them individually. I can't stand really either one of them, but I think they're exactly what you want to see in a tag team. Like, they have a great set of moves that coincide with each other. Like, they work together. They can tell a storyline with their move sets, those two. It reminds me a lot like of FTR. I never can get their names right, but you know who I'm talking about.
I don't know who you're talking about.
You do. You know I'm going to say it, but I struggle every single. Humberto. Angel Garza.
Yeah, Humberto and Garza.
I don't understand why they're not getting more TV time.
They do need
I
more.
feel like they're right there on that same level.
Absolutely. They're awesome.
I won't say anything, but I'm gonna give a leak. 2025, I think we're gonna see a big bump in tag team wrestling.
I think so too.
I think they're gonna build this up.
Yeah.
I think like with the War Raiders, Street Profits, the New Day going heel, the Uso brothers going to join back together. I think it's going to be good. I think we're going to see tag team like we haven't seen it in a decade.
Yeah, if you look at WWE's roster, where you have a roster full of tag teams in Raw, SmackDown, and NXT, you got some great crop of talent down there that's getting ready to come up. I mean, tag team wrestling should be at a top level. It's all about how they book it, and I'm really, And it's crazy because, 2 years ago, the tag team titles were in the main event at WrestleMania. And here we are talking about we need a bump.
Yeah.
So, they got the talent. They got the talent. I believe they can do it. Triple H, do you need to give us the book? What do we got to do here?
As long as you give us a check.
Yeah, give us a check. Yeah, I'll take the check.
I mean, I might do the book for free as well.
Yeah, All right. Women's Wrestler of the Year. We have a lot of women that we can actually call this, possibly. This is definitely arguable. Timeless Toni Storm. AEW finally gets a little bit of love.
Unfortunately. I mean, I hate to be that person, but I do like all the black and white segment stuff that they did. I do think there was some good work there for what I did see.
Yeah.
But I have a hard time believing that doesn't belong to Liv Morgan. With her having the feud with Rhea Ripley, the fact that she won the Crown Jewel belt, first ever to hold that belt. I think she's killed it. Like, I'd have to go back and look, like, individually all the different people that she beat and stuff like that. I mean, she just recently beat Io Sky, wasn't it?
Yep.
I mean, that's an accomplishment because everyone, me and you both, I believe, did say Io. We said Io was going to win that match.
Yep.
So, my opinion, that's a Liv Morgan type thing. So, Sports Illustrated.
All right, we gotta let you guys go. You gotta get fired.
One wrong and you're done.
We got to Donald Trump you. I'm sorry.
You're
But
fired.
as far as timeless Toni Storm, I give her credit though. She has been doing some great work.
100%.
She's been doing great work at that. That character is really, it was really big for her. And I heard that she pretty much was the one that pitched it and the one that kind of like came up with all the vignettes and everything and the promo work, which, she kind of failed hard in WWE. Not to her own, not because of her really.
I just think it was a flooded scene.
Yeah, it was, it was an old regime pretty much.
Yeah.
Because Triple H was actually a big fan of Toni Storm. She had a big run in the UK, NXT UK, but she really fell flat when somebody else got their hands on her. But we might see her again. Who knows? But yep, time is Toni Storm. She gets the nod here. Men's Wrestler of the Year goes to the American Nightmare.
Yeah, we knew it was coming. And it's right. Like I said, same thing. Like, finished the story. It's held the belt this whole time. Was involved in one of the biggest storylines of the year. One crown jewel, an inaugural crown jewel winner. Yeah. Am I excited for that? No. But it's right.
Yeah, it's right.
It's hard to argue it.
Yeah, can't really argue.
I mean, who would you really say other than that? Like, I mean, you could go to another, like an AEW and try to pick somebody out of there.
The closest in AEW that I can think of is Swerve.
Swerve
Strickland. Other than that, nobody really comes close. Cody, he finished the story. That was the biggest story. It one storyline of the year, the whole Bloodline saga. Yep. Cody was a part of that.
Yep.
You had The Rock there. He had the face-off with The Rock. Those were big moments, highly rated. He had the feud with AJ Styles and Kevin Owens, and he had that run with Shinsuke.
The only complaint I would have is I don't feel like he earned it. I feel like it was handed to him. It's like, here you go. You're going to be Wrestler of the Year because we're going to give you all these accolades.
Yeah, he got the accolades. Yeah. Yeah, but leave your comments leave your comment in the comments. Tell me, what do you think? Do you agree with Sports Illustrated?
I'm definitely curious on what some people have to say.
Yeah, I want to, and because there's one that I'm gonna mention as soon as I'm done with these last three.
Ooh.
Here we go.
It's almost time for break.
Yeah.
Let's knock these out.
We're gonna run through these three real quick.
All right.
They're gonna be real fast. Okay, match of the year: Daniel Bryanson versus Will Ospreay at AEW Dynasty. Now, for me, I did not watch that full match. I did see some highlights.
I did see the highlights as well.
As far as, buying pay-per-views, I mean, that I can get NordVPN, but, buying those pay-per-views for $50 a pop, man.
I think I heard something today that AEW shows and their pay-per-views will be streaming on Max after the fact.
Yep.
That would probably be the only news that really I've seen this week.
Yeah, I think that's 2025 they're going to be starting that.
That might help them a little bit.
Yeah, and you know what? Because I got spoiled with the WWE Network, now Peacock. I got spoiled. I'm not buying pay-per-views.
No.
Like the old days, But it is what it is. Match of the year. You can say Cody, Roman.
You could say Hell in the Cell, Drew McIntyre, CM Punk.
Yep.
Honestly, we're just picking big matches, but honestly, if you really think about it, I feel like a lot of your smaller matches were probably better matches.
Yeah.
But you don't remember them because they're not those flagpole moments.
Right. Yeah. But if you're talking about a match that has all the story with it, then you got to go with the WrestleMania, Cody versus Roman.
Yeah.
But if you're talking about match
especially
quality,
with the ending with all the people coming out at the end.
We're talking about what was it? We're talking about MCU style.
Yeah, the Avengers.
Oh yeah, we're talking about Endgame, man. That was big. So, Sports Illustrated, Bryan Danielson versus Will Ospreay. Let me know in the comments if you agree with that, or let yours be known. Show of the year, WrestleMania 40. You agree with that?
Yes. Only because I don't really, my memory doesn't hey, remember all these matches were on this one and all these matches were on this? I feel like there were shows that I was like, I really liked that one. And everyone was like, it was okay.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's just a stigma to WrestleMania that it's hard to beat. One, it's 2 days, so you're doubling the matches that most other events get.
Right.
So how do you not? But it just also gives you more moments to disappoint you as well.
That's true. Yeah.
And I feel like that definitely I remember happening. Now, do I remember if I was more pumped about Royal Rumble or Survivor Series or SummerSlam? I don't really remember the matches individually.
No.
I'd have to go back and look. But I think WrestleMania is an easy choice. Like I said, 2 days.
Yep. And to your point, you kind of brought it out a little bit for me. A lot of those other pay-per-views or PLEs aren't really sticking in my head right now. But WrestleMania, I know what happened.
Yep.
I know what happened. So that says a lot right there. So WrestleMania 40 is your show of the year. Let me know in the comments if you agree with that. Promotion of the year. After all of these WWE picks have won the categories, what do you think is the promotion of the year? You would be shocked if it was MLW, huh?
I would.
Well, it's WWE. It's WWE.
It's definitely WWE.
It's WWE.
Honestly, you know me. I'm a fan of NXT. I like the storylines that go in NXT. But, I mean, when you're getting the multiple shows a week and you're getting more of the PLEs, it's WWE.
Oh, yeah. And I'm thinking that they're actually including NXT under that umbrella.
I'm sure they are.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're going to run a quick break, and we will be back with our Mount Rushmore, and we have a closing segment of predictions, and we're going to talk about a little bit of fantasy booking. So stay tuned with us right here on Orion ON TV. We will be right back.
9, 8.
Are you or someone you know having thoughts of suicide or experiencing a mental health or substance abuse crisis? 988 connects you to compassionate, confidential support for free.
988.
988 is the new 3-digit dialing code for the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. For years, the Lifeline, formerly known as the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline, has answered tens of millions of calls and helped people overcome mental health-related distress. 988 is the same trusted resource. When you call, text, or chat 988, you'll be quickly connected to trained crisis counselors who will listen to your concerns, provide support, and get you additional help if needed. There is hope. The Lifeline works. You are not alone in crisis. Just call, text, or chat 988.
988.
Knowing how to identify signs of crisis in others and help connect them to resources like the 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline is an important way to prevent suicide in Lake Orion. For information about free suicide prevention trainings offered in our community, please visit the North Oakland Community Coalition at noccmi.org.
988.
Have you ever thought of producing your own podcast? ONTV offers the facilities, equipment, and training to help you get your own podcast off the ground. Learn how to record your show and get it out to the world. Cost is $25 per person, which gives you access to ONTV's podcast room and equipment. For more information, give ONTV a call at 248-393-1060 or visit orionontv.org today.
And welcome back to the Fatal 4-Way show right here live on Orion ON TV. We are talking about this is the year-end review for WWE. We're talking all pro wrestling here. What happened this past year? This year is coming to an end. I'm excited. Brian, and I'm going to kick it over to you because we have some moments that we really want to highlight before we get to our Mount Rushmore.
All right, so I did make a list of greatest WWE moments for 2024 while I was shopping for discounted Christmas decorations with the wife and mother-in-law. Such a highlight. I'm sure everybody
Shout
really
out
enjoys
to the
doing
wife
that.
and mother-in-law.
Yeah. So top of my list, I got Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes promo done by Paul Heyman. in the parking lot.
Oh,
Dude,
my God,
with those two there, that was probably the best promo I've ever seen.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like, I
Cinematic
remember
promo.
I watched it, I replayed it, I watched it again. I turned around, and I'm like, hey, Amber, watch this, the wife. And she's like, okay, cool. I don't get it. But I'm like, really? Because like, it meant so much to me. I'm like, this is amazing.
It was like a movie. It was like
it
watching,
felt like a movie.
Yeah, it was like a movie. So I love the way they did that. And that was leading up to their tag team match at
Their banter
Bad
that
Blood,
went
I
back
think
and
it
forth was
yeah.
so great. Like, it was so
awesome.
well thought out. All right, so next up, I have, which we talked about earlier, New Day turning on Big E.
Big
Probably
moment.
one of the most emotional moments for me last year. And I'm not
Absolutely.
even a huge fan of the New Day, but like I said, they just did them dirty.
They needed that fresh coat of paint.
They did. They needed
really
it bad,
needed
especially
that, yeah.
Xavier.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Next up, I got Dominic turning on Rhea to become a mega heel. At that moment, now from that moment on, he can't even speak on that mic without being drowned out by boos.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I think he's going to have so much coming ahead of him next year
Oh, yeah.
because of this.
His character development has been great with the whole mustache and mullet
Yeah.
and everything, man. He's on fire right now.
I got Jacob Fatu's debut. I mean, we all know we're going to see big things from Jacob.
Absolutely.
I mean, he's well above this bloodline. I think out of everybody other than in the bloodline, other than Roman, I think he has the most potential.
Absolutely. We're looking for that Roman
I think he's
Jacob match.
head of heels above Solo.
Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
As long as he can stay not injured.
Yeah. And you know what? We have yet to see a one-on-one match.
That's true. I didn't even think of that.
Yeah. And it's crazy how big he has become already.
Yeah.
Just the aura.
I mean, and then the different times that we've seen him face off against somebody like a Braun Breaker, where they give each other the
standoff?
look, and you're like, oh.
Oh, yeah.
Next up, Drew McIntyre's work in and out of the ring. Like we said, just touched on about him
Yep.
on the mic. Like I said, all the little segments he's done on Twitter and Instagram, and then even his mic work in the ring,
Yeah.
stealing the bracelet, the feud that he had with CM Punk, possibly even the match of the year with the Hell in the Cell, like we talked about.
Absolutely.
He's truly crushed it this year.
Oh, yeah.
I'm really pushing behind him. I'm glad he lost the stupid sword gimmick.
Same.
That
Yes.
was so awful.
Yes.
All right.
His contract was almost up during that whole
Yeah.
segment. Yeah.
Next up, I got the Wyatt Sick video debut and the death of Chad Gable. I mean, there he was with the blood up on the wall. And we're like, is he gone? What happened? Like, that was a great film segment as well.
We're talking PG.
It was literally another segment where I'm like, Amber, you got to watch this.
Yeah, they killed poor Chad Gable, man. He hasn't been the same since. But I enjoyed every bit of that. I remember I was talking to Jason Klaus, and he hasn't seen it. I think it was like a week before he actually watched
that was like,
it.
I'm like, are you going
It
to
was
watch
so
this? Come on, we
long.
need to talk
Like,
about
you
it.
have to see this segment at the end of the show. Skip the rest of the show.
Yeah.
Watch the end of the show. I mean, with the little single key going off and all the smoke effects.
You had to I had to rewind it and watch it back in slow motion. I'm like, who else is these people laying on the
Right.
floor? Who else did they possibly kill and lay out?
Oh, my God. Yeah.
Next up, I have the NXT TNA crossover. I mean, I think this has been amazing with Jordan Grace and Joe Hendry and like all the stars going back and forth
Right.
between the two. I think it's going to lead to something big. Whether we end up seeing a NXT TNA PLE or if we see a WWE TNA PLE,
Yeah.
I think something's going to come down the pipes where we're going to get a big event like that.
Yeah, it has cooled down in the last, couple months, but I
All
think
it
it's
takes-
going to heat right
all it
back
takes
up.
is a Royal Rumble to
Come
spark that
I
right
was
back
gonna
up.
say, come Royal Rumble. I guarantee you, Joe Hendry's going to be in that Royal Rumble,
I guarantee we see a lot.
and
of people.
Jordan Grace. And we seen her last year or
Yep.
this year, but we're going to definitely see her in 2025.
Next up, I got the Undertaker's assist to help Cody win the belt. Lights drop, he jumps in there, and I was like, oh God, and how is this going to look? Because we've seen the Undertaker's work in the ring as recently,
Yeah.
and some of his moves, it's like, oh God, I'd rather not see that.
stiff, yeah.
But he pulled it off. I thought it looked great.
Yep. Absolutely. And it's crazy because that was supposed to be Stone Cold Steve Austin. So I'm sitting there watching this. John Cena gets dropped. The Rock is sitting there, and he's, just talking all this trash. And I'm waiting for the glass to break. But then we got the gong, and I still marked out.
Oh yeah, for sure. Me too. I want to say Cody keeps talking about this, like he said that right before the lights went back out and Undertaker disappeared, he gave him a wink.
Did he really?
Yeah, he says it was like one of the
Oh,
coolest
my God.
moments, and the lights drop and he goes out.
Oh, man.
The Bray Wyatt tribute with the Firefly lights when you had his wife and his brother in the ring talking, and they had all the lights going. I think that was amazing. That might be right up there with emotional moments from last year.
Absolutely.
Like that was almost like a real
Yeah.
tearjerker there.
Yeah, same.
Paul Heyman's Hall of Fame speech,
Awesome.
amazing work.
One of the greatest speeches, Hall of Fame speeches I've ever watched.
You can see why he does such a great job with promo work and just talking on the mic. The guy definitely has a mind for the business. It's hard to think back to the ECW days of him with the hat on, and
Yeah,
it's like, man, this guy, he belongs at the top of the wrestling world.
absolutely.
John Cena announces his retirement tour. This is my last one I have on the list. I think this is a big one. I think it's going to lead a lot into next year. I think we're going to get so many storylines developed off of this.
Yeah.
I think we're definitely going to see that 17-time world champion and break the record.
Yep. And we actually did a pitch on 2 shows ago, I believe, how it should be done. And if you haven't seen that show, go back into the archives.
We might talk about it later.
Yeah, go back to the
But
archives.
definitely go back and watch it.
Yeah, go watch that show. Give that show some views. You know, give that show some love, man. We talked about the way they should handle John Cena. And, man, it's going to be awesome. It's going to be an awesome year coming up for him as he gets ready to retire. Also, Bill Goldberg's supposed to be retiring next year. How about that?
Yeah, let's see how many matches he has before he does.
We'll see.
I think we're going to get the Gunther one, unfortunately.
Yeah, just give me one. Just give me one. And
So, yeah, that's
kill
my
it.
greatest moments for 2024
awesome,
off
awesome.
the top of my head.
Awesome. And as we move forward, before we get to the Mount Rushmore, I just want to make quick mention, I just want to make mention of those that we have lost in 2024 as well. Some that just comes off the top of my head is we lost Virgil in February. Ole Anderson was another one we lost. There's a few more that we just want to pay a quick tribute to. We lost Sid Udy, Psycho Sid, Sid Vicious, Sid Justice, whatever you want to call him. Man,
One of the triplet.
one of the greatest big men, ever.
Man, that leg break video. If you
Oh
have not
my
seen
God!
that,
Yeah,
and you got a strong stomach.
you got to have a strong stomach.
You
for
got to
that,
watch
man.
that.
Yeah, that was pretty much the end of Sid
I
there.
think
He
that'd be
did.
the end of almost anybody.
Yeah, he did make one comeback. He came back on Raw and years later and powerbombed. I think it was the little redhead guy. I forgot his name. But yeah, he came back and for one night only. He needs to go into the Hall of Fame
100%.
in 2025. I mean, and it was sad because they played a video, I want to say shortly before he passed, how bad he wants to go into the Hall of Fame. And watching that is, it tears you up that he didn't get a chance to go. He's the last person to hold the winged eagle to not get inducted into the Hall of Fame. What do you think about that?
What about Kevin Owens? I think it's crazy that he hasn't been. I think he's definitely going to be next year. It's going to be soon. He deserves it.
Oh, yeah,
I wish he would have
absolutely.
been while he was still alive, but
Yeah.
what can you do?
Yeah. So let's move on to the Mount Rushmore. Brian Bolf.
Woo! All right, so seeing we have Christmas right behind us, we're right in the shadow of it. I did the Mount Rushmore of wrestling gifts you would ask Santa for. So my top 4 that I'm asking Santa for, that are wrestling involved, obviously number 1, tickets to a live event.
Heck yeah.
Live events are amazing. It's like takes watching that show to the next level. You're getting the feel of the crowd, everyone behind you. I mean, it doesn't even have to be a PLE. I mean, just a live show.
Right.
I love taking the boys to shows. Their only complaint is they hardly ever can see because they're so short. You got to get the right seating.
Right.
But, yeah, that's my number 1. Number 2, WrestleFest Stand-Up Arcade. One of the best stand-up arcades from the 80s. Love that thing. I would love to have one in my house. I don't know if I would ever leave the basement. It'd be right there next to NFL Blitz. My number 3, WWE Legacy Detroit Lions title belt.
Nice.
Those belts are amazing.
Nice. Yeah.
And I tell you what, if the Lions end up getting the Super Bowl, I have to get that belt. And I feel like if you don't pull the trigger now, once they win the Super Bowl, you are not getting that belt.
God, no.
WWE, you heard me say that. So if your sales bump up, I want a cut of that money. My number 4, the Muscle Thug Blaster set. The little pink muscle wrestlers, the muscle guys. There was the 28 wrestler set. It was amazing. I can remember laying in the floor of the car, just playing with my fingers on the hump. They were the perfect size for it.
Yeah.
If I seen them on eBay, if I can get my hands on them, man, that's one of those childhood memories I'd like to bring back.
Absolutely.
What do you got? Let's hear it.
All right, here we go. Mount Rushmore, Hollywood Q. I'm going to start off with a WWE/WWF Championship replica. If someone wants to gift me that, I'll be more than happy to receive it.
Which one? Which title, if you're going to pick one?
You know, if I have to
Just
go down
one.
the list, well,
Just
one,
one.
give me the Winged Eagle.
The Diva belt, the butterfly winged.
Give
Butterfly
me the
wings?
Winged
Oh,
Eagle
must have
World
misheard you.
Championship belt.
Good choice.
That Diva belt, man, my God. If you want to talk about worst belts, I think we've
did,
done,
and it
we've
was.
done that. Yeah, and that was on everybody's list. I mean, God, don't ever bring that thing back, man. That was awful. So my number 2, tickets to Royal Rumble or WrestleMania.
I mean, you got to go tickets. Tickets.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. And it's crazy. This is the first year in a while that we, you know, I haven't taken the boys to an event. We did SummerSlam last year when they were in Detroit.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but we didn't go anywhere this year, so we got to get back to the shows. I know they bumped up the ticket prices.
They have.
You know, I know WWE is hot right now, and you wonder why they're breaking so many gate records because the prices are through the roof now. All right, number 3. Let's have fun with this one. A fatal four-way collab. We're talking about the show, Fatal 4-Way. A collab with any WWE podcast or superstar. How about The Undertaker go ahead and bring us on that 6 feet under podcast?
Broken Skull Sessions.
Broken Skull Sessions.
I'll
I mean, who else got one? Oh, man. I'll do 83 weeks with Eric Bischoff.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Oh, man. Jim
And
Cornette has
Michigan
one.
Man, so, yeah.
Yep. Or
That's a good choice.
hey, come on down to Lake Orion, Michigan,
We got room for you. We got empty chairs right now.
and join us. Join us right here on the Fatal 4-Way show. 1 hour. Come on and talk with us. Talk some wrestling with us, man. We're all good and we're all wholesome. We're a family here. Now, my number 4. This is something that Brian actually he brought to life here. Merchandise for my son.
Yes.
Now, merchandise for my son. My son loves, you know, shirts, toys. He has little title belts and everything. Not too long ago, Mr. Bolf here gifted my son a bunch of wrestling figures that my son is showing off to the world right now. I mean, I just found out that my son has a TikTok.
Oh, wow.
He has a TikTok, and he's been showing the little figures off.
That's awesome.
On TikTok. He's been wrestling on TikTok. How's
Yep.
that, man?
We were cleaning out the office in our spare bedroom. Boys have gotten to the point, unfortunately, where they're into girls or sports. So the figures have been left to the wayside. So I'd rather re-gift them than just sit there. So, and I did hear from Mr. Klaus, I should have let him pick through and pick all the favorite ones. I'm like, dude, I'm giving them to a kid. But yeah, there's
Mr. Klaus. Hey,
a couple rings, a bunch of figures.
Yeah.
I'm glad he enjoys them.
Couple years, you know, when my son started getting into girls and video games and, you know, sports, Mr. Klaus, I'll give you a call. All right, so that was my 4. Yeah, that was my 4. All right.
Yep.
So let's close with the 2025 predictions.
Woo! I got a
Coming up.
bunch.
Yeah, let's see what we got. What's coming up? We got a whole year coming up, man. We got Raw going to Netflix. We know some big things are coming up. What do you got?
I mean, we've already talked about it, but I have Cena breaking the record for most title reigns. I think that's a given. Like we said, I don't think it happens at the beginning of the year. I think he might have an opportunity, which he loses. And I think we see it happen at the end of the year.
Yeah.
Like, I think maybe he wins Rumble. Maybe he comes out 30, gets that win, goes against Gunther, loses that one, and doesn't end up getting that title to the end of the year. I think it would be a better storyline if he loses and has to work his way back to it. And thinking it might not happen.
Right, yeah. And, I mean, the anticipation of him actually getting it, for the whole year, we're all thinking, like, is he going to get it? You know? You can almost build an entire pay-per-view of John Cena's last attempt. Not only his last match, but his last attempt at getting number 17. Making. I mean, you can build almost like how they did, you know, Sting had his own, I mean, well, he didn't, it wasn't his pay-per-view, but he had a great send-off. Yeah. But then Ric Flair had his own pay-per-view, pretty much. I mean, it sucked, but he had his own pay-per-view. You can almost do the same thing with John Cena. I mean, December is open.
Yeah. Another one I had, which I feel like we don't really need to discuss a lot because we talked about it so much. Next year, male wrestler of the year, Drew McIntyre.
Agreed.
I think with his work, his matches, I think everything he's done, I think next year is the year of Drew McIntyre.
Definitely.
But like I said, we kind of already talked about it.
You're going to get the title back, too.
For sure.
Oh, absolutely.
Female wrestler of the year, I'm going to go Tiffy Time.
Tiffy Time, okay.
I think she's got that briefcase. I think there's no way she doesn't turn that in and not win the title. I think it's going to be the year of Tiffy.
Yeah, yeah. Women wrestling next year alone, I think is going to be huge.
Yep.
We're going to have Charlotte coming back. Charlotte, to me, needs to be a monster heel.
Possibly even Becky returning, too.
Yep, you got Becky. She's definitely will be back. But Charlotte, I want to see her get almost like a Roman Reigns heel.
Me too.
Run, you know, something, because she's so great.
She's at one point will hold the title at some point next year for sure.
You got Asuka coming back. You got.
Speaking of comebacks, I got Malachi Black coming back to WWE.
Oh, I'm with that.
100%. I wish he would never left.
I'm with that, yeah.
I talked about this one earlier. Cody Rhodes turning heel.
Cody Rhodes turning heel? Yep, I can see that.
I think it's 100% going to happen. Jacob Fatu holds Intercontinental or U.S. title.
Yes.
I'm leaning more towards Intercontinental because I think the feud of the year next year might be Jacob and Braun.
I can see that.
I think that those guys can have some great matches. I see one of them probably winning Money in the Bank and or King of the Ring. I think those guys are my favorites for winning those titles.
I can honestly see Braun being elevated after he loses this Intercontinental title. He's not going to go after that anymore. I believe that that's his time to move up.
I'd like to see Dom win Money in the Bank.
Ooh.
I think Dom would be hilarious winning that title.
Put that in the comments. You guys agree? Dominic Mysterio. Man, I know you guys are at home booing.
He's definitely going to.
But I love Dom.
He's going to hold singles gold.
Absolutely.
Whether it's the Intercontinental or the U.S., he's going to have something.
Yeah.
I got Jordynne Grace becoming a threat to the WWE main stage. Whew. I think she'll get up there. Whether or not she gets a belt, I don't know. But man, I think she's going to go up there, and I think she's going to do some devastation.
I agree. Straight to the main roster.
Straight to main roster.
Yeah. As you can see, 2025 is shaping up to be a huge year for WWE. So as we bring this year to a close, we're going to bring this show to a close. And we want to wish you.
Perfect segue.
We want to wish you all, happy holidays, whatever you're celebrating. We wish you a great, great new year. Go out, be great, stay motivated. Peace out until next time.